everyone, it's Clarice, and today I'm going to be doing a tag video, the book calendar tag. This tag was created by the BookTube girl and I was tagged by reader Kyla, and I will link both of their videos down below. This tag just assigns a book related question to each month of the year. So of course, the first question is January, New Year's. A new book release coming out this year that you are greatly anticipating. I'm not one to watch for new book releases all the time. So while I do think I'm looking forward to a couple of books, one immediately comes to mind, and that book is Armada by Ernest Cline, which I think comes out this month. As you may or may not know, I loved Ernest Cline's first and only novel so far, Ready Player One. I don't know much about this novel except that it's about video games and aliens, but if it's even half as good as Ready Player One was, then I'm gonna be pretty happy with it. February, leap year. Name a book or book series that you would like to skip or refuse to read. 50 Shades of Grey. Do I need to explain? March, St. Patrick's Day. Favorite book set in a countryside or rural area. It's kind of weird how hard it was for me to think of an answer to this question, so my answer is kind of weird, but I'm going to say Animal Farm by George Orwell. It's about some animals that gain independence from their farmer in a farm. And farms are in countrysides or rural areas, right? April Fools. Name a book that you thought was going in one direction but ended up going into a completely different one. Most recent book that made me feel this way, I think, is Fluke by Christopher Moore. This book was really weird. I don't think anyone would have guessed that it would have gone in that direction. How does Christopher Moore think of these things? It's a really weird book. May, Mother's Day. Name a book that's always there for you, that you love, and always lightens the mood when you're feeling down. For this, I'm going to say Lamb by Christopher Moore. At this point of my life, I haven't actually reread many books, but this is a book that I've reread and one that I hope to reread again soon. And while this book is classified as humor and it's really funny and that definitely lightens my mood, it's also a book that teaches a lot of good lessons, and actually in a weird way, even though some really strict Christians may find this offensive, this actually, I think, helped me a bit with my spirituality. And it's a book that I have loved, currently love, and I know that I will love for years to come. June, Summer Solstice. Name a book that felt like it took forever to read. Well, this book practically did take forever to read, and that book was Wicked by Gregory Maguire, which is the first book in the Wicked Year series. I hope to reread this again soon, but the first time I read it, I just wasn't prepared for it to be, one, as adult as it was, and two, as different from the musical as it was. So it took me a pretty long time to read it. 2 years is a pretty long time, I would say. July, Independence Day. Name a strong and independent character that inspired you. For sure, this character is Vin from the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. Vin is the strongest female character that I know, and in this series you're able to really see her grow from being someone that's so timid and someone that kept so much to herself into what she became by the end of it, which is a really strong woman, one that is able to take charge, but one that was also able to trust others, and she's just a really good role model, I think. August, no holidays. If you could create a holiday that's connected to books, what would it be? It's so hard to think of a creative answer to this question, but the only thing that came to mind was drop everything and read day. When I was in grade school, we used to have this thing called Dear Session in school, where for like an hour, you would have to drop everything and read. Basically, just for that hour, you couldn't do anything but read. You know, no work, no school, just reading the whole day. Obviously, non-readers would probably use it as an excuse to do other things, but maybe they'll be encouraged to read more. But for readers like me, I would just love a day where I wouldn't need to think about anything, no worries. All I need to worry about is reading books. It's kind of simple, but I would love that holiday. September, 9/11 Remembrance Day. What's a book that has made a huge impact on you and that you will remember forever? The Book Thief. It has to be The Book Thief. This is the first book that I ever considered my favorite book. This was the first book that ever really seriously affected me emotionally. Believe it or not, this is also a book that I went into knowing absolutely nothing about, having absolutely zero expectations for. I had never heard about this book before I received it, and I ended up loving it. And so it will always, always have a special place in my heart. October, Halloween. What is your favorite mystery or horror book? These are actually a couple of genres I read pretty much nothing from. So I can only actually answer one thing. So it's a good thing that I really enjoyed this book. Though enjoyed's probably not the word I'd use for it. And that book is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. It's kind of a messed up book about some pretty messed up people in a really messed up town. A couple times it was kind of hard to read just because I'm kind of weak and squeamish, but at the same time, I couldn't stop reading it. November, Thanksgiving. What book series are you most thankful exists? The Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. If you've watched any of my videos at all, you probably already know that this is my favorite series of all time. It's a series with some of my favorite characters ever. It's a series with some of the characters that I really look up to. It's a series that introduced me to Brandon Sanderson, who is possibly my favorite author. It's a series that introduced me to adult high fantasy, which is possibly my favorite genre. Overall, a series that I'm just really, really thankful exists, and a series that I'm really, really thankful that I got the opportunity to read. December, Christmas. If you could recommend a book to anyone as a gift, what book would you recommend? Again, another book I mentioned way too much, but for me, this is possibly the easiest book for me to recommend because it's one that I think pretty much anyone can enjoy. A book that I think has many elements that I think most people would like is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. First of all, it's really fast-paced, and the regular person would enjoy a fast-paced book. It's really fun. It's probably the most fun reading experience I've ever had. It's really geeky and mentions a lot of pop culture, which I think a lot of people would be able to relate to. It has such an engaging plot and such a good story, which is something I think anybody can appreciate. So overall, yes, I would recommend Ready Player One. So that was the book calendar tag. I don't know who to tag, so if your name is on the screen right now, then I'm tagging you and I will link you down below as well. Anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye! By Christopher Moore.
Sorry.
It's fine, it's fine.
Yeah.
Shh! Stop talking.